We have 3 great iPads to choose from this year, not counting the iPad mini. Those are the budget 2020 iPad, the 2020 iPad Pro, and now the iPad Air. In this video we'll take a look at all 3 of them and see which one would be best for you, depending on what you're interested in. For example, you may want a simple tablet for watching videos, or a gaming tablet, or something for school and work. Hi, I'm Radu with PhoneArena, and I spent some time using all 3 of Apple's 2020 iPads in order to help you make a choice if you're interested in buying one for yourself. Let's start with this. Which iPad is the best for watching videos? We took a look at screen quality, size and speakers in order to answer this question. All 3 iPads are decently sharp and produce great colors, but the budget iPad has the smallest and most reflective display. It is 10.2 inches. The iPad Air is 10.9 inches and the iPad Pro is either 11 or 12.9 inches. In terms of display resolution, they're not too different, so the numbers don't really matter. When you're watching videos on any iPad, you will get black borders above and below the picture because neither of them is widescreen, but you can pinch to zoom in certain apps such as Netflix, which fills the display. The iPad Air and iPad Pro have brighter displays, and videos look larger on those because they don't have the big side bezels of the budget iPad. The iPad Air and Pro also have P3 wide color support, which means they can display a wider range of colors. Perhaps the most notable thing to keep in mind is that the budget iPad does not feature true stereo speakers. Both of its speakers are on the right side of the tablet, which is a significant downgrade over the iPad Air's dual stereo speakers or the iPad Pro's quad stereo speakers. No stereo speakers means that the sound from the budget iPad only comes from its right side, which is less than ideal. In terms of sound quality, unsurprisingly the budget iPad sounds the most tinny. Still, compared to Android tablets in its $300 price range, it does sound pretty good, and it's the only iPad out of the 3 to have a headphone jack. The iPad Air has true stereo sound, and its 2 speakers sound significantly fuller and punchier. Lastly, the iPad Pro has the most powerful sound, thanks to its 4 speakers, although the sound is not notably bassier or cleaner than on the iPad Air, just louder. So the iPad Air is the perfect middle ground here, if you want a great tablet for watching movies and YouTube videos. At a decent price, this may be the one to get. And even though we can't show you how good those iPads sound through a YouTube video, we can demonstrate at least how loud each one gets. Take a listen. Now on to the next question we'll try to answer for you. Which iPad is the best one to get for gaming? Immediately I can say that all 3 iPads will run any games you throw at them perfectly, but obviously the iPad Air and Pro may have the option of slightly higher graphics settings. But to see just how different they are in terms of performance, let's run a benchmark on all 3 iPads. And now that we did this test, we can see that the budget iPad averaged at 24 frames per second, the iPad Air averaged at 35 frames per second, and the iPad Pro averaged at 53 frames per second. The iPad Pro's display also features ProMotion, meaning its refresh rate is adaptive and can go up to 120 Hz, so games that support ProMotion will look super smooth on the iPad Pro. The iPad Air and the budget iPad both have the more standard 60Hz screen refresh rate. An actual downside to the budget iPad is again its speaker placement. On the budget iPad, if you're playing a game like PUBG for example, you won't be able to hear where gunshots are coming from, because you will not get a true stereo sound experience. If sound is important to your gaming, you'll be better off with the iPad Air or the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro and Air also have more base storage, while the budget iPad only starts at 32 gigs, which may not be enough to fit all of your games. Which iPad is the best for school and professional work? To answer this question, we took a look at how Pro apps perform on each iPad and what keyboard accessories each iPad supports. Now, if you're a student and are looking for an affordable iPad to take notes on, the budget iPad is reliable and capable of all the tasks you may want to do on it. In fact, it is the most powerful tablet in its price range and can run all the apps the iPad Pro and iPad Air can run just fine. Of course, you'll have to spend extra money for a first generation Apple Pencil or a keyboard case though. The good news is that even the budget iPad has a smart connector for a keyboard, so you won't need to worry about Bluetooth latency or charging a Bluetooth keyboard separately. The bad news is that the budget iPad does not support Apple's Magic Keyboard for iPad, but there are still decent options, such as Apple's Smart Keyboard and the Logitech Combo Touch. So if you're a professional, you'll be happy to know that the iPad Air and iPad Pro both support the Magic Keyboard with trackpad accessory, as well as the second generation Apple Pencil. Both of these tablets can handle any work-related tasks, video and photo editing, music production and whatever else you may want to do. And while the budget iPad can also handle all of that, it will render video slower and will support fewer video or image layers at a time, for example. It also only comes with 32GB of base storage, while the iPad Air starts at 64GB and the Pro starts at 128GB. The budget iPad also falls short in the camera department, as it has an unimpressive 8MP main camera. The iPad Air has a single 12MP main camera, while the iPad Pro has a 12MP main camera, a 10MP ultra-wide camera and a LiDAR sensor. It even has a flash. So, for example, if you're a YouTuber who wants to produce videos entirely on their iPad, you can definitely do that. Film your videos, edit them and publish them right from your iPad Air or iPad Pro. In good lighting, they can both record decent video and take good photos. The budget iPad still uses a lightning connector for charging, while both the iPad Air and iPad Pro feature a USB Type-C connector instead, which is perfect if you wish to attach cameras, external hard drives and other accessories to your tablet easily without needing dongles. And even though specs don't really matter on iPad as much as they do on Android tablets, the budget iPad only has 2GB of RAM, while the iPad Air has 4 and the iPad Pro has 6. The more RAM, the more apps can stay open in the background without restarting, and the bigger projects you can work on. And now on to the last question we wish to answer for you, so you can make an informed choice. And that is, which is the most well-rounded iPad to buy right now? And that would be the iPad Air. While the iPad Pro has bells and whistles like 2 extra speakers, an extra camera and a LiDAR sensor, it doesn't quite warrant its much higher price than the iPad Air. Both the iPad Air and the iPad Pro support the exact same professional accessories, namely the Magic Keyboard and 2nd Gen Apple Pencil, and both iPads are about equally perfect for work, gaming or video watching. The iPad Pro has Face ID for security, which is quick and convenient, while the iPad Air and the budget iPad use Touch ID, which isn't too bad either. All three iPads feature full day battery life, or about 8 to 10 hours depending on usage. There is no significant difference in battery life between the three tablets. Bottom line, get the budget iPad only if you truly believe that its outdated design and accessories will not be a problem for you. It is still a solid tablet, but if you can, you best get yourself the more future-proof iPad Air so you can enjoy a more modern design, punchier stereo sound and better accessories. And if you can get the best one, the iPad Pro, you will essentially be getting a solid laptop replacement, especially if you pick its larger 12.9-inch variant, along with Apple's Magic Keyboard. So those were Apple's full-size 2020 iPads. All of them are great for what they are, with the iPad Air being the perfect middle ground, offering pro design and accessory support for a cheaper price. Hopefully this video helped you choose your next iPad. Thanks for watching, hit that subscribe button for more tech videos and I'll see you next time.